In this video, In this video, I'm gonna show you how to use a foam roller. Check down in the description. I'm gonna break it down into categories of what parts of the body you can use the foam roller on. So just click the one that you need most, or watch the whole thing and see how to give yourself a full body foam rolling session. Stay tuned. Okay, my friends. Any of my long-haired friends need to put their hair up immediately. There's been way too many times that I have had my hair down and I roll right over my hair. So just do that. So I'm also going to talk about the two different types of foam rollers that I have and why they're a little bit different. The first one is what I recommend anyone being introduced into foam rolling should get. As you can see, it's just flat. This one is a little bit squishy, so it's not really hard. The harder you get, they tend to be a little bit more intense. So this one has a little bit more give, which is a nice intro. And fairly wide. You can buy even shorter ones. You can buy even longer ones. I think if I could have a better one, a better flat one, I would go longer. That's just me. I'm a little bit wider of a person, so it helps because it gets more body contact. So yeah, nice flat one, little give to it, which is a nice for a beginner. Now you have this guy. I don't know what brand this is actually, and this is Fila. I mean, you can get this at TJ Maxx for like 10 bucks. This one might be a little bit closer to 30. They actually even make foam rollers that like vibrate and stuff like that, which is really cool. But what makes this one different from this one is these little grooves here, right? So these little grooves kind of help pinch. Well, pinch is probably the wrong word, but it sort of breaks down the fascia that you're trying to roll out. It kind of helps give it like a pin and stretch, because these little grooves sink a little bit farther into your skin at certain points, and there's obviously these little valleys in here too. So those spaces, as you're rolling, are creating this it breaks up the tissue a little bit more. This would be more of a deeper tissue. It's also reinforced by plastic, so again, it's much harder than this guy. So with these little grooves and then this harder reinforcement, you're going to be able to get deeper into those adhesions and deeper into the muscle belly and really access some of that gunky, grainy adhesions that maybe your massage therapist told you about in your massage. Oh, this is a Gaiam, if you can see that. But cool. So those are the two. Now let's use them. So just for the sake, I'm gonna be using the Fila, just for the sake of this video. And because I haven't done any like stretching or warmed up my tissues. So if I were to go cold and use that Gaiam one, the grippy, knobby one, probably would hurt a little bit more. So let's start with the most popular, your back. Foam rolling your back. Really simple. Just lay it on the ground and lay over top of it, right? And all you're doing is then I'm pushing my heels into the ground, I'm lifting my feet up off the ground, and I'm just rocking back and forth. And I'm making sure that I'm really using my breath here. Putting my hands, clasping them together over my hands, or over my head, really stretching it out. And I'm just rolling it, you know? This is a little bit like when a massage therapist is, you know, doing an effleurage stroke down your back. They're putting deep pressure down your back. What this is doing is it's creating pressure along your back, and then all you're doing is moving that pressure up and down your back until you feel good. And then maybe there's spots on your back that you're like, ooh, yeah, that right there. And you get to that spot, and then just roll over it slower, right? So when you get to those really sticky spots where you know it's like, that feels so good, just go slower over it. You know, change up your speed, and yeah. Another great use for a foam roller to help your back is just laying over top of it. A lot of my clients, I recommend using the foam roller for this this exact exercise, is to just put it right underneath your shoulder blades, and then just lay over top of it. For most, this will be pretty intense. Let your head hang back. Let your head touch the floor. And really try to let your entire flexor chain just relax so that your back starts to arc over top of it. And then you can shift that down a little bit lower and do the same thing and just sit there and hold it. And as you get lower and lower, once you're almost into the lumbar spine, you won't have to worry. You don't need to put it the foam roller there. You want to stop really at the last thoracic vertebrae right before it starts to turn into the lumbar spine. And that really helps create this thoracic extension, which many of us need to help counteract the effect that gravity has on our posture. So this will really open our chest up, open our hearts up, create more confidence. You can create a deeper breath because of it. You'll stand a little bit taller all around. That's those two things right there. Foam rolling the back and then using it as a thoracic extension support piece is A1. So let's talk about the shoulders, because the shoulders are another big piece of pain for people. So the shoulder has a lot of areas to work on. So let's just try to hit all of the areas. I'll show you a little flow of how you can transition from the back into the shoulder. So, you know, you're massaging your back, you get to your back, and then I'm gonna start with my left side. So then you just roll on your left side while keeping this hand straight out. And you're massaging this real medial, this inside shoulder. You're kind of massaging a little bit more of the back muscle as well here. So this is just another back shoulder sort of junction, but again, more shoulder. And I'm just placing it right here, right in my armpit. Actually, I'm just below my armpit because your scapula comes out here, just below the armpit, and I'm using this as leverage to create a deep pressure. And then I just keep my hand out like this and just raising it up and down. Maybe I'll take my other hand and pull on it. Maybe I'll bend it, right? Again, just using this foam roller as some pressure. Maybe I'll roll backwards while my hand is stretched out, then I'll roll forward. This is really great to loosen up all the attachments in the shoulder. This, I can actually feel this one. This is pretty tender right there on the front part of my shoulder, that front delt. Oh yeah. Okay, so that's a good one for the shoulder attachments in the auxiliary or the armpit area. But another favorite that I like to do is the front of my shoulder. You can just lay on it like this. Keep your arm nice to your side and just roll up and down, right? Oh God, that one feels really good. Kind of getting more into you're getting into the tricep a little bit. You're getting into the, just that deltoid, that really lateral side of the outside of the shoulder. And maybe now I'm rolling back and forth. again, just using this as a pressure point, and then you, the being, use your body to roll around on it. Just find different points to press. And what this is doing is it's just relaxing the tissue, just like a massage, except you got to do the work. Right, okay, so we have the shoulder, the inside of it, the outside of it. That's great. You can sometimes, even the neck here, right? You could use the neck. Yeah, just rolling on the neck. Trying to keep the neck as relaxed as possible, because when you flex it, it takes away from the work that you can do. Just rolling on my neck, back and forth. This might be really good for someone who has some serious neck pain. I can feel it strumming some of my neck muscles, but I'm not too tender or sore here, so it's not too much of an effect on me. So that's good there. Right, so we got the shoulder, and then now we have this transition into the neck. And then of course you do everything on the other side, but I'm just showing one side at a time. Okay, so this time I just found a spot that holds all my muscles together into place, and this little bit of rolling, it just keeps strumming the edge of my neck muscles, and this feels really good. Even though I'm not tender or sore, I know that this feels really good on my neck. We're looking at our phones all the time, and this really helps. Good. And I'm actually kind of pushing I'm using my feet down here to kind of drive me into this foam roller while I'm rolling it, right? So it kind of gets more pressure to it. Okay, so we got the back, we have the shoulders, we just went into the neck, which, wow, that whole left side feels amazing. Let's go into the lower part of our body. Let's work into our butt and eventually go into our legs. So just like the back, I'm gonna do my right side because my right side always needs it. But you just put it underneath your butt, and I'm sort of rotated onto the outside of my body. You can just sit on it like this to start, and just roll right over your butt. And then you can actually roll it up a little bit higher, almost into that low back. You know, the butt and the low back are very synergistic of each other, so feel free to kind of get all that surface area. Right, no, that feels really good. So you're just sitting on it and you're just rolling. Again, it's just like putting some deep pressure, like a massage therapist would, except you're the massage therapist now. Hooray. Good. So now that we got the back side of our butt and our legs, we can get a little bit more focused and turn to the outside and get right on that hip. This is amazing for knee pain or lateral leg pain. So I went from my butt, and all I did was I just rolled. Now I'm shifting, but all I really did is just rolled, and I stayed in that same spot, and I'm just rocking back and forth. And it creates a lot of pressure right in the hip. There's a muscle called the TFL. Maybe I'll put it up here on the screen, the tensor fascia lata. And that's the muscle that I am trying to get to on this lateral hip. And I'm working this up my body. I'm sliding down so that this pressure comes up. And now I'm on the very tippy tops of my hips, almost into my obliques, into my abs. be honest.